we are going to learn a new topic which is moulting in crustaceans and hormonal control of moulting. Okay, so let us look into detail what is moulting, what are the different steps coming under moulting, and how is the hormonal control of moulting. Okay, so let us see what is moulting. Okay, moulting is a process of shedding of exoskeleton by crustaceans, and this moulting is a very normal phenomenon which take place in case of prawns as well as in the case of lobsters, in the case of crabs, crayfish. So this moulting is a very regular phenomenon which take place in crustaceans. So what is the need for this moulting? Why this moulting is essential for crustaceans? Let us see that. So in order to increase in size, the crustaceans, both marine and freshwater, must replace their confining exoskeleton with a larger one. Okay, so this moulting process is needed for what? For their growth. Because these crustaceans cannot grow within their confined old exoskeleton, right? So in order to grow, what should they do? They should actually shed their old exoskeleton. Then they should gain weight or they should grow, and after that, their body should be replaced with a new exoskeleton. Okay, so that is a need for moulting. Why? Because these crustaceans cannot grow within their old exoskeleton. So they should replace it and grow, and then they should take up the new exoskeleton. So let us look into detail which are the different steps involved in moulting. So you can see the different stages of moulting include the early premoult, the moult stage, the postmoult stage, and the intermoult stage. Okay, so let us look into detail what all steps are coming under all these 4 stages. Okay, so the first stage is the premoult stage. As we know, the premoult, the term itself indicates that is a stage which is prior to the moult stage, right? Which is a stage which is prior to the moult stage. So as we know, in this stage there will be certain preparations in order to get the process of moulting. Okay, so prior to moulting, this pre-moult stage is needed in order to have some preparations for the process of moulting. So what preparations these crustaceans take up for this moulting process? Okay, so in this pre-moult stage, they actually absorb the nutrients as well as the inorganic constituents from their old exoskeleton. Okay, these crustaceans absorb the nutrients as well as inorganic constituents from their old exoskeleton and they store it either in the stomach or in the hepatopancreas. Okay, after that what happens? Old endocuticle is digested by enzymes secreted from epidermal glands. Okay, so in this premoult stage what happens is that with the help of some enzymes, the old endocuticle gets digested so that the process of shedding of the exoskeleton becomes easier. Okay, so these are the points which take place in the premoult stage. So the next stage is the moult stage, which is also known as ecdysis. Okay, so in this stage what happens? The process of moulting actually take place. So in this stage, there is a remarkable increase in the size of the crustaceans. Or in this stage, there will be a growth of the crustaceans or remarkable increase in the size of the crustaceans, either because of the hydration, because of the massive hydration, or else because of the absorption of water. Why? Because they absorb this water. When the new exoskeleton is formed after this moulting process, when the new exoskeleton is formed, there should be a gap in between their body and the new exoskeleton, right? So for that, they take up a large amount of water by massive hydration. Okay, so this is what happens in the moulting stage. So then after that what happens? The moulting occurs, that is the old exoskeleton goes off, sheds off, and then what happens? A new soft cuticle will be formed during this moult stage. Okay, so let us see which is the next stage. So the next stage is the post-moult stage. So as I told, the moulting stage what happens? The old exoskeleton has shed off and a new soft cuticle has formed. And in this post-moult stage what happens is that the hardening of that new exoskeleton take place. Okay, the hardening, because of the presence of the chitin and all, what happens? The hardening of the exoskeleton take place during this post-moult stage. This stage begins a few days after moulting, when new cuticle is enlarged and later the animal enters a post-molt period. The noticeable physiological characteristic of the stage is that the animal's cuticle becomes harder, okay, and more active than during the first two stages. That's what we call the chitinous exoskeleton and all, as you know in the case of prawns. So, in this post-molt stage, what happens? The hardening of the new exoskeleton take place. So, let's see what's the next stage. The next stage is known as the intermoult stage, which is also known as anecdysis. So, in this stage, what happens? The real tissue growth, including the growth of epicuticle, exocuticle, endocuticle, membranous layer, and epidermis, take place. Okay, so after its completion, the animal can be said to be in anecdysis. So, it is a last step. So, we talked about what is moulting and which are the different steps involved in moulting. So, now let us see how the hormonal control of moulting take place. So, this is hormonal control of moulting. So, before learning what is the hormonal control of moulting, first you should know about what the endocrine organs of crustaceans. Okay, so just look into this image. Here I have shown the endocrine organs of crustaceans. Here what is important is the X organ and Y organ. Okay, these are the two main important organs which comes under the endocrine gland of crustaceans or endocrine organs of crustaceans. So these X organ and Y organ, we are going to talk about this. Okay, so as we talk about the hormonal control of moulting, I have to talk about this X organ as well as Y organ. This X organ is an organ present in the eye stalk of the prawn. Okay, it is a location of X organ. As well as this Y organ is present in the antennary region. Okay, so when I tell about X organ, you should understand which are the hormones secreted by this X organ. This X organ secretes hormone called moult inhibiting hormone as well as the gonad inhibiting hormone. These are the two hormones secreted by the X organ. Okay, so from the name itself you will understand that it produces moult inhibiting hormone. So this is a hormone, the hormone which is produced by the X organ inhibits the process of moulting. Okay, from the word itself we can understand X organ produces moult inhibiting hormone which inhibits the process of moulting. So the next organ which I told was Y organ. Okay, the Y organ produces a hormone known as ecdysis. Okay, the X organ produces a hormone known as moult inhibiting hormone which inhibits the moult, and the Y organ produces a hormone known as ecdysis. This ecdysis is also known as the moulting hormone, or it accelerates the process of moulting. Okay, so when we talk about moulting, these two organs are really important, which is the X organ and Y organ. One produces moult inhibiting hormone and Y organ produces ecdysis or the moult accelerating hormone. Okay, so how is the hormonal control of moulting? As I told, the moulting stages or the process of moulting can be divided into different stages. Okay, that is the premoult stage, moult stage, postmoult stage, and also the intermoult stages. So during the first two stages, that is in the pre-moult stage and the moult stage, what happens is that moulting has to be accelerated, right? Moulting has to be accelerated. So for that, which hormone will be needed? This ecdysis hormone, which is secreted by the Y organ, is essential in the pre-moult and moult stages in order for the process of moulting to take place. So after that, in order to stop the process of moulting, that is in the post-moult as well as in the intermoult stages where the process of moulting is over, which hormone we will need? We will need the moult inhibiting hormone, which is produced by whom? This X organ. Okay, so these two hormones are very important in the case of moulting. That is in the pre-moult and moult stages, this ecdysis hormone which is secreted by the Y organ is essential, as well as in the post-moult and intermoult stages when the process of moulting is over, this moult inhibiting hormone which is produced by the X organ is needed. So let us look into the next sentence, that is, since 1905, when Zeleny first reported that removal of the eye stalks resulted in a significant acceleration of the moult cycle. As I told, this X organ is located in the eye stalk. Okay, so you may have heard about eye stalk ablation, removal of eye stalk of the prawns. So as this X organ is present in the eye stalk, when the eye stalk of the prawns are ablated, or if the eye stalks of the prawns are cut off, what happens? The X organ goes off. So when the X organ goes off, what happens? The moult inhibiting hormone goes off, and what happens? There will be an acceleration of the moult cycle. Okay, so you should understand about this importance of X organ from the process of eye stalk ablation and the acceleration of moult cycle also. So that's all. We learned about moulting, the different steps involved in moulting, as well as what the endocrine organs as well as the hormonal control of moulting. So thank you for listening to me.